Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Khan. Welcome back to MotoGP 18, where Mario's made a change this season after grabbing his joint equal best result in Italy last time out. He has switched to the KTM chassis, to the KTM manufacturer team. Will it bring him much more fortune than it did at the Snipers team alongside Fenati? I know he's alongside Binder now, but he's alongside Oliveira, the championship leader. He should be a good support player, at least to Oliveira in his title bid this season. Let's see if it begins well in Spain for the second visit of the season to the country, and the circuit near Barcelona, Catalonia. So here goes McDonald in for the first of three possible qualifying efforts in a wet Barcelona. Look at this track. I know it's sunny overhead, but the track is still drenched. And look how much the bike is just sliding under braking as McDonald's trying to catch up to his teammate. Look at Oliveira's 150 flat. He's already quarter of a second up in the first sector, but that's just a couple of corners. This is the real litmus test. This middle sector, this whole Barcelona circuit, such a tricky circuit to nail, very technical. It's a bit like Jerez. Even more intimidating a couple of these corners, especially Campsa. That fast right-hand flick. Let's see if McDonald can nail these corners. He's made a slight setup change compared to his normal dry setup. He's put in extra wheelie mode. And he's 1.8 up. What the hell? Is he really liking these conditions? Let's see, we go into Campsa. Then his fierce right-hander. Taking it in third. Just chucking the bike at the corner. Hoping it grips. And hoping to get a fantastic exit down this back straight into perhaps the best passing spot in the circuit, this hairpin. Now, arguably turn one is the best passing spot of that front stretch. He's 2.1 up now, McDonald. Apparently. We will see after the end of this lap. And for some reason, this bike just seems to be gripping a bit more. He has had it in a bit more faster lean. It's a better turning as Jules Nello's gone down, the Frenchman. He's not exactly having the best of seasons, is he? As he approaches, it looks like he's going to smash Oliveira's time. It's going to be a 49.3. But he can do better. This is the last minutes of the session as well, with the track drying. No doubt that times will decrease. So he's got to keep pushing as he's behind. Is that a Mark VDS in front? Is it one of the Spaniards in their home race? Marquez or Mir, as he's now 3/10 up on his own time. Loves that first sector. Loves this KTM sliding in these slippery conditions. And there's one thing which is immediately better with this KTM already, it feels like, even in these conditions, and that is braking response. Just using the brakes. Bike works. Just as we run wide. Bike just seems to be much better going into corners. As demonstrated there, perfectly on cue. I'm not sure if that's just because of the setup change or because of the KTM, but it just feels much better for McDonald than ever did on that Sniker's bike. Again, maybe a better team as well. KTM, lots of experience at Moto2 level. Sniker's just a new team. With a new rider in Fenati as well. Not exactly a match made in heaven. Let's say he's half a second up McDonald. But look at me, 48.9. That's why we got to improve. Oh, and that's why you've got to be careful getting on the power. How has he saved it? But that's that costing pole on this lap. As he has rounded that high 48 range. And it has. Looking at the time above, he's going to be in the 49s again. 49.3. It's a new personal best. But he lost a second in that final sector. Let's see if he can gain it on this final lap. Or maybe using up his laps a bit early in this session. He's a 10th up on Mir. On his personal best as well. Go for that first set, just feeding that power, and as his teammate Binder goes to the top now by 48.7. There we go, that time's off falling. Might be a 47 which grabs pole. Which McDonald's got the push for. this lap. So there you go, he gets this left hand over right. It's so tricky getting that corner right because it's downhill. Very difficult braking going downhill. And like this corner going uphill through the right. You can really attack that corner, and that's why there's a bit of a passing spot as well on the bikes. You can see riders being very aggressive there. And then down this back straight. Just got to nail that braking point. I hope you have. As now he's 3/10 up, but now Olivier's gone to pole with a 48.5, and again he's losing the rear, getting on the power. Let's see if he can nail this final sector though. Don't seem to be his best sector. There's a bit of a traffic jam in front as well. Bit slow in that penultimate corner, but he's got a much better run through there. He ever has. And a bit wide in the final corner, but he gets on the power early, gets on the power hard. He's got some slipstream as well as he runs towards the line. Is it a 47? No, but it's pole with a 48.2 for the time being. And it's a debut pole for McDonald on board the KTM, ahead of teammate Olivier by 3/10. That 48.2 was good enough in the end. Baldassarre just 0.005 of a second behind his title rival in third. Then Binder leads the second with all three KTMs in the top four. Fantastic team result. With Marquez in fifth ahead of his teammate Mir on the second row. Disappointing for the Spaniards, with Verge leading the third row ahead of Bagnaia and Quartararo on the speed up. Always quick round here, isn't he, Fabio? Then we've got Pizzini rounding out the top 10 of Shirota in those. Then Navarro, Ika and Gardner with a good qualifying on the Tech 3 in the top 15 ahead of Agata. There's Fanati, the ex-teammate, down in 17th. Almost 2 seconds off his former teammate, then Marini in 18th ahead of Corsi, Locatelli. Barbara on 21st, just outside the top 20 for the veteran. Then Isaac Vinas leading the 8th row ahead of Ben Snyder and Odendahl. And Danny Kent down in 25th alongside Paoli and Joe Roberts. Then Nakashima, Ganardo and Fuglini. I never pronounce that name. I apologise. Then on the back row, it's Dinero, Corradino and Manzi. So here's what we're revving up from pole for the first time in MotoGP, waiting for the lights to go. How does he get underway? In Catalan, he's already blocked Brad Binder. There goes his KTM contract, rescinded after 100 metres. Look at that start from Quartararo in front. In sit for the Frenchman. McDonald trying to hold on to 7th. Trying to go for 6th now. They're number 20. He's ahead of the speed up. He's got Verge in front. Look at that start for Olivier. They're up to 4th, looking for 3rd. McDonald falling through. Well, some Mark VDS's in its like. That's sandwiching Oliviera. Here Marquez, well, Baldassarre leads like he should have. In Mugello. Putting right that wrong from last time out. So here goes McDonald down the inside of everyone apart from Baldassarre. Bold from McDonald, but that's what you're getting, KTM. Just Olivier follows him through on Mir as he got Baldassarre, Marquez, McDonald and Oliviera. McDonald all over the back of Marquez. Not quite close enough to make the move. Maybe dive into the right-hander. And if he forces him wide, you never know. Olivier could follow through. No, he's still battling with Mir. So not too bad in the end for McDonald. Dropped back at the initial start. End of the opening up, he's right in the tail of Baldassarre for the lead. There's been up to 7 ahead of Verge. And we've got Marquez, Olivier, Mir, Quartararo still in 6th. Bagnaia and Shirota rounds out your top 10. It's McDonald way too sideways on the brakes. Having that Baldassarre through. He rejoins in 7th, second, ahead of Oliviera, controversy. For KTM, I thought they would try and get McDonald to let him by. Way too sideways on the brakes. I mean, that's what you're meant to do in Moto 2 under heavy braking. Let that rear slide slightly. Not that much, though. Then he can up to 20 ahead of Fanati. And the rise of Quartararo seems to be following the fall now. As he's behind Vergate in 7th. Or not. He's fighting back on his speed up. Loving it here. So McDonald trying to catch up to Baldassarri, trying to pull Oliveira with him. All over the curves, very aggressive in this opening part of the race. So now we go into the hairpin. Really trying to get out. McDonald holds on. So that's Marquez trying to get past Oliveira, tries to get past McDonald. Not having none of it though. As it go through the penultimate corner, he's just having to use all of these curves without factoring into the tyre wear. Baldassarri's got a handsome lead at the end of this second lap. He's not quite got McDonald on his tail. And he does a 44th lap, McDonald 44.5. Then we've got Oliveira, Marquez, Quartaro in the top 5 ahead of Mir, Vergate, Binder, Bagnaia, and those. And out the top 10 out again for McDonald. Bike out of control, under brake in the first corner. Oliveira gets through. McDonald fights back initially, then remembers he wants his KTM contract back. I think after that move, they now have given back McDonald his KTM contract. So he's once again a KTM rider. He's going to follow Oliveira back up to the tail of Baldassarri, maybe. As this is normally go time for McDonald, he's middled out 3, 4, 5. Before he has to back off again for 6 and 7. But Binder battling for 7th with Vergate. Not gone the South African's way since the start. Well, for Quartaro, it's gone all his way, up into 5th ahead of Mir. And his speed up, fighting with the Mark VDS, superb from the Frenchman. So all over the back of Oliveira, but Nakashima down. Oh, the Japanese rider wasn't having a good race. Well, it's got a bit worse now. So he'll outbrake himself into the hairpin. Gets on the power. Quartaro up into the podium spot. Not having none of it though. Bit of a party pooper as Quartaro gets ahead of Marquez, so up into 4th on the speed up. What a race from the Frenchman. We're not even halfway through it. And the top 2 get away from this mad bunch. Led by McDonald, has Baldassarri leads ahead of Oliveira. And the Portuguese rider is coming 44th lap. And then we've got Marquez, Binder, Mir, Vergate, Bagnaia and Shirota as here comes Quartaro for the podium. Not quite. Nice go though. Nice from the Frenchman. That was a good attempt. McDonald holds on. Now let's see if you can try and put away from the mad bunch behind. It's got Bagnaia in 8th ahead of Vergate, who just seems to be falling backwards. Mr. Dynavolt rider. We thought he might be ascending into the top 5, but now he's battling to be in the top 10. McDonald's doing a good job in the first half this lap. He's always strong in the first half of the laps. It's just the second half he needs to improve, especially that final set. He outbreaks himself. This Mir's ahead of Alex Marquez. That's not good for Mark VDS. Not good for Alex Marquez. Not good for this championship with Oliveira in 2nd. Bassini back for 30th with Navarro. Thought he'd be a bit higher up than that, Bassini. So McDonald just holds off Quartaro there as we're halfway through this race. He's still not that far off the top 2. This is definitely the strongest race of the season on his new team, new bike. There seems to be a positive change for McDonald. Maybe not for Fanati so far. That then be in the top 20. It's Mir down to 9th now behind Vergate. What is happening with Mir? Again, he was back for the podium on the opening lap as McDonald stuffs in a 44th lap. 2nd behind. Oliveira, almost a 2nd ahead of Quartaro. As old Baldassarri drops it from the lead. It's a KTM 1-2. Oliveira ahead of McDonald. Baldassarri's chucked it away again from a winning position. He did it in Mugello in the opening lap. He's done it here from a comfortable-ish lead. Head over the area, who's applying pressure. But not enough to force the Italian into a mistake, surely. This season is just going all Oliveira. Even when it's gone bad like last race, he still worked his way up behind McDonald into a top 10 position. And so Alex Marquez didn't make too much of a dent, and now it's the KTM 1-2. This is why they signed McDonald as well, to back up Oliveira, back up the rest of the field as well. And just worked to a treat here. As Alex Marquez back with Verge for 6th. Where's Binder though? Did an all KTM podium. Oh, is that speed up there? No, it is an all KTM podium. There's Binder when you need him. Oh, not. Here's Quartararo on the speed up. You can get a podium. Absolutely crazy race. And look at the tyre wear. It's getting there now. First couple of laps it was barely in. Now it's around halfway on front and rear. As he got onto the penultimate lap of the race. With Oliveira leading ahead of McDonald, he seems to be outbreaking himself everywhere. As Paco Bagnaya's down. Oh, the Italians are not having a good race here. Passini out the top 10. Quartararo back with Binder. Marquez ahead of Verge. Baldassari in 7th on the number 7. After his mistake. Mir in 8th. It's not a good race for the Spaniards either. Not even battling for a podium, just battling to be in the top 5 with Alex Marquez. It's more 1.3 behind Oliveira, a second ahead of Quartararo. Perfect for McDonald for KTM. Almost perfect for KTM. Binder still battling to be on that podium with the speed up. Whatever Oliveira's done, Quartararo's done better. He's definitely been the ride of the race. It's the Frenchman. Ben Snyder battling with Finati for 21st. We've got some good battles down the field. Ribera with Roberts as well. But that's only in the mid-20s. A horrible time for the veteran in one of his home races. It's Pecco Bagnaia battling with a 13th now for Jorge Navarro, another home rider. There's so many throughout the field. And there's the veteran Agata battling for 16th with Luca Marini. This McDonald just cruising with just over a lap to go. Just keeping it safe for Oliveira, but also keeping that gap behind, just managing that gap behind of around a second. To the battlers for the final step on the podium. Binder. And Fabio Quartararo. There seems to be a bit of a gap now to 5th and Alex Marquez. So across the line with 44.7. Yeah, he's the second ahead of Quartararo and Binder. And your Baldassari back into the top 5. Shows you the pace the Italian has. Head of Verge and Alex Marquez. There's Bagnaia ahead of Navarro. They're just very consistent on this final lap. What a dream start this could be to his KTM career. I know it's not the win, but being second behind the championship leader, that's a dream start for KTM to his career. Grabbing pole as well, showing he's got the pace. Showing he's got the pace here on top equipment. For the Snipers team with Finati, that showed to be top equipment initially, but it's just an inexperienced team. Inexperienced lineup just wasn't suitable. That breeding ground for good results. But now with a couple of ex-Moto3 champions. Well, an ex-Moto3 champion in Binder, an ex-Moto3 champion that should have been in Oliveira. How Danny Kung on the moat in the end, I have no idea. You know how the Brit kind of fell apart that season. Well, I say fell apart, he was just a bit complacent, really. He's been getting ahead of Quartararo. This is definitely the best race of McDonald's Moto2 career so far, just being a couple of seconds behind the leader. And grabbing his first podium as well, it looks like, because he goes a bit wider in penultimate corner. Don't give Binder hope behind, and Quartararo. Let you overtake you. McDonald has crossed the line, tyres looking very good. And a brilliant result with Oliveira winning ahead of McDonald. Fantastic race after a poor getaway. Fought and battled hard to get back into second, into third, and in second once Baldassarri fell. So that means he finishes 2.7 seconds behind his teammate, and look at how fast it's that, right up there with Baldassarri and Oliveira. He can get on top of the tyre management, on top of the brakes as well, under heavy braking. Who knows, we could see a victory for McDonald this season, with Quartararo in third on his speed at the 9 all KTM podium. But what a brilliant result from the Frenchman, beating Binder by under a tenth of a second. Baldassarri covers 2/5 and was just half a second off the podium. What could have been for the Italian once again on board his ponds, with Verge in tip, the best of the Spaniards ahead of the Mark VDS pair of Marquez and Mir. Then Shirotta, Sam Lowe's rounds out the top 10 ahead of Pastini. Navarro, Bagnaia down in 13 ahead of Locatelli and Marini. Look at that all Italian ending to the points ahead of Agatard and Corsi. Gardner, Ika, Bent Snyder rounds out the top 20. Fanati down in 23rd behind Barbera and Oldendal. Danny Kent in 26th and Nakashima in 33rd. So in the championship, it's not all change. It's a big lead for Oliveira now. 40 points ahead of Marquez, who's 31 points ahead of Baldassarri, with Shorter down to 4th after his victory in Italy. Not quite the same result here in Spain. And then Binder rounds out the top 5 ahead of Verge, who's now ahead of Pastini. Mir up to 8th. McDonald cementing 10th down, joining that battle for 6th place, just 15 points behind Verge. Those up to 11th. Quartararo, Star Rider up to 12th, ahead of Ika and Navarro. Marini up to 15th, ahead of Corsi. Has 24 riders scored points so far this season. Dino in last has achieved the objective, achieved the race objective as well, did McDonald. Up to level 76 for throttle management, almost level 77. But level 77 for riding position and brakes management, level 79 for lean angle. And look at all those available points for the team and their reputation for himself. So the reigning Moto3 champ is finally on the board in Moto2 podium-wise. Well, Marc Marquez one ahead of Dovi and Rossi, keeping our home fans happy after that non-Spaniard on the Moto2 podium. You don't see that often, no Spaniards on a Moto2 podium, or on a MotoGP, or on a Moto3 podium, where Martin won ahead of Bezzecchi and Bastianini. So let's see what McDonald can do on a new bike. No upgrades so far, but he's got lots of development points. So what do you go for? The brakes? I think so. Suspension, frame, or aerodynamics. Aerodynamics could be helpful, keeping that bike on the ground when he's getting on the accelerator, preventing wheelies being pulled. That is also very important. The frame, suspension are pretty good, but it's all about brakes, preventing them from locking up or increasing the brakes braking power. I think prevent locking them up is a bit more important. So that's the first development on this KTM. And let's see if McDonald can develop as a Moto2 rider and maybe even grab victory next time around the Cathedral, the classic TT circuit. Aston Bottas debut aboard this KTM. And surely it can only get better from here. But thanks for watching. We'll find out if it does next time.